I show up.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
What's good, Facebook? What's good, YouTube? It's your pal, the Big Alboski, with my boy, Prince Shango.
Yes, sir. It's
the
me.
one,
It is
the
me.
one and the only Prince Shango. What's up, my man?
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying the day. And, happy 100th episode.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you, the message that you sent us, and all the love that we got that episode, man. It's had over 500 views, which is crazy for around the turnbuckle these days. So a lot of people were interested in what we did that day, I guess. And you popping on there meant a lot to me.
No problem.
And everybody else that chimed in, everybody else that commented or sent Tony Batista sent a video too. And it was great. The professor and I will be back on May the 22nd. Saturday, May 22nd is our next episode of Around the Turnbuckle. So in case you're wondering where the hell I am next weekend, that's where I am next weekend. It's my anniversary. Big shout out to the wife. I love you. Happy anniversary early. But I will be back next week, next Tuesday, for Home Team Sports.
Right.
And speaking of Home Team Sports, that's what we talk about on this thing that we do here every Tuesday night there, Mr. Shango.
Yes, it is.
What in the world is going on? Tim Tebow, did I hear this correctly? Tim Tebow has the world talking about him because the 34-year-old former quarterback got signed to rejoin his boy, Urban Meyer, in Jacksonville, but as a tight end.
Yeah. Imagine that.
What do you think of – all right, I want to hear your opinion before I give mine because I'm going to go on a rant, but you tell me how you feel about this.
I apologize now for the language I'm about to use. It's fucking attention. He's a giant-ass crybaby. All he wanted was attention. He stopped playing football because they told him he needed to change positions.
Yeah.
He should have did this 7-8 years ago. And you mean to tell me, because they're telling you, Tim, QB is not going to work. Hey, why don't you go to fullback or tight end? I don't want to do that. I'm a quarterback. I'm a quarterback, damn it. I'm going to throw the ball. All I want is to throw balls. I don't want to catch them. I want to throw them. Throws a fit. Nobody picks his ass up because, let's face it, it's Tim fucking Tebow. He goes to baseball. He makes a big deal about going to baseball. I'm going to hit balls, not catch them. I'm going to hit them. All I'm going to do is hit balls. Guess what happens?
So ever since this news broke out, there's been two factions that have been created. There are Tim Tebow fans out there.
Delusional, yes. Scientology, I got you.
Well, he's a born-again Christian.
Yeah, Scientology, I got you. Same thing. What?
So there's Tim Tebow fans out there. Obviously, a lot of them are Florida Gator fans. They when he did come to the NFL, they might have thought he didn't get a fair shake, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And and we all know the story of Tim Tebow. He comes in, he has that one playoff game with the Broncos where he throws like the 5-yard pass and they took it for a touchdown and they beat the Steelers out of the playoffs. And so he had that one playoff win, and then he ended up on the Jets, and whatever. We don't need to talk about the Tim Tebow experience, right?
Please.
But then he tried to get into Major League Baseball. We all saw how that worked out for him. It did, right? So he's got endorsements out there. He's on a show now. He's doing, I think he's doing college analyst for somebody or whatever. So he's making he's making the money. He's a very good self-promoter.
Who is he analyzing first?
So there's that, right? I don't know. So there's this faction, the faction that are happy about this. Then there's the sports reporters that are tearing this apart, saying that saying that this guy is just what you just said. Everything you just said. Attention-seeking, crybaby, still thinks he's got it, 34-year-old. You can't tell me that there is every freaking NFL player who used to be an NFL player who now works for radio stations and TV stations. Maybe they went back and they are on their local, like, for example, I'll give you an example, a local example, Ike Reese. Today on Philadelphia's WIP Sports Radio, ran his mouth for like 10 minutes about this because he says, you can't tell me that this is nothing more than attention seeking. It's not. Tebow's tweeting, I still have the fire in me. The NFL never left me. He doesn't need the NFL. No, the NFL doesn't need him. He needs the NFL.
Yes.
And to take a roster spot. I mean, I know the Jaguars suck. How does their new quarterback Trevor Lawrence feel about it? I mean, there's all kinds of facets to this thing. But my opinion is this is attention seeking. I could care less about it. I'm talking about it because everybody's talking about it. I could care less that he's back. I really don't care. And I hope that he fails, and he probably will. They signed him to a 1-year deal. We'll see. We know what it is to do? Sell Tebow jerseys because those jackasses down in Florida will actually buy it. You know they will.
Yeah.
I've said my piece.
As a Floridian, I agree. Backup
tight end at best. Could be used in the Wildcat. Still a big boy. Guy can still play. Chris, I'm not doubting that he could still play at 34. I'm saying that he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be there. Jacksonville
I disagree.
Does not need him. Yeah. Jacksonville does not need him. He needs Jack. You know what? He picked. Why did he pick Florida team? Why didn't he go on Tampa Bay and play with the great one? You know why? Because Tom Brady would have said, no, we don't need him. No, we don't need him. But Jacksonville is a dead fish in the water right now. So they'll take whoever wants to play. I'll go down there and I'll try out for Jacksonville, and they'll sign me too.
Yeah, I'm going out for kicker next week.
I can care less about Tim Tebow is back, but I will give him this. Everybody's talking about it.
I mean, that was the goal. He wanted everybody to talk. Like the dude's always seek attention. He's always attention.
We're at nobody online live streaming sports talk thing, and we're talking about him. We don't have to. We could talk about whatever we want. You know, ESPN. ESPN has an agenda. Pardon the interruption. Has an agenda. They all have an agenda, and so the top stories are what they need. What's trending right now. And this guy is trending right now.
He's trending like crazy. But I mean, he played his position right. If he went at it just to get the spotlight back on him, congratulations. And them dumbasses in Jacksonville were like, yeah, that seems about right. You really gonna sign this man to go out there and compete? Y'all just gonna get him embarrassed. He gonna pop his hip by the place on the first
mentor to college football players in history, in my eyes. Yeah. You can sit there and name probably the top 10 college football players of all time. And a lot of guys on that list didn't make it in the NFL. Matt Leinart, ring a bell? Vince Young, ring a bell?
Ryan Leaf,
ring a bell? Ty Detmer?
Quincy Carter?
I could just keep going.
It's amazing to me that they're even allowing this to happen. Now, I would have really lost my shit if it would have been a multi-year deal. Like,
right?
And you know the thing was like
3 years for $12 million.
No, 3 years for 50 cents is what he would have got.
No. He's getting. How much is he getting for 1 year? He's only getting like 5 or 8 or something.
But still, that's way too much money.
I understand that. I'm just saying he's not getting $56 million. He's getting
ain't no way in hell I'm paying Tim Tebow more than $150,000.
Oh my God. I can't take much more of this.
It's insane. Like you want him to go out there and play special teams. Okay. Sure, 34
We
years
have
old.
never on this show ever talked about the Washington Wizards, but we're about to. Russell Westbrook broke the triple-double record held by Oscar Robinson with his 181st triple-double on Monday in a losing effort, by the way, against Atlanta. Why don't more people care about this? Because I think it's a big deal. How do you feel about it?
It is. It's a real big deal. Oscar Robinson set the bar when it came to triple doubles. Nobody, including Jordan, LeBron, you can name a whole list of people, Julius Erving, nobody came close to him when it came to triple doubles. But Russell Westbrook is just making this look easy. By the time he retires, he's going to be like well over 200. Well over 200. You got to imagine. He's probably got, another 2 or 3 seasons left in him?
Probably.
So if he's I can't remember the stats where he started at this year, but they said with the rate he was going, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna break that record. And look where we're at. We're itching closer to the playoffs, and the guy's still playing. Like it blows my mind. It really blows my mind. And that was a record that a lot of people thought would be touched. Like, nobody's gonna get that. Nobody's gonna score that many triple doubles.
And as you know, I'm not as big. Yeah. I'm not as big into the NBA as you are, or TJ Spitter, or that. But this is impressive. This is very impressive to me because this is a record that's been there a while. And Westbrook is a one-of-a-kind player. He has been in the league now for a while. He's moved around a few teams, but I mean, he still can go. Unfortunately, he plays for the Washington Wizards. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he is a rare blend of an athlete. Being that small, but can dunk on anybody, has a pretty good shot.
Westbrook, best all-around best player to play the game, pure talent, but won nothing.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
I absolutely agree.
Right.
And he's what, 6'3"?
It proves, my son says, that Russ could easily be a key part of a championship team. He can't work well with teammates. He has to be the key guy, but he fails in said position.
I mean, that's been one of the biggest knocks about him. Like, they want to put people around him, but not everybody can. Like, he doesn't play well with others. Like, look at the whole thing between him and Kevin Durant. Him and Kevin Durant were teammates for years, but once his star started shining bright, it was, no, you need to give me the ball. And Durant's like, no, you need to give me the ball. Like, this is my team. I was here before you.
The sports reporters today were talking about the fact that the NBA playoffs looming, a lot of players are sitting. The load management's going on right now towards the end of the season. Mm-hmm. That this didn't get as big a spotlight put on it as it should have.
I agree.
You agree with that?
I agree. Like I have the NBA app, so anytime like a lot of breaking news pops up, I've been waiting for this to happen because they said beginning of the year like he had a real legitimate shot to tie, or they were like, well, he might tie the record this year. No, he's beat it. When he tied the record, like his teammates and everybody like went nuts. I think he did it against the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. He either tied it or beat it against the Lakers. I can't remember.
The other night. Yeah, they did play the Wizards the other night. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's insane. That is amazing. Like, he's one of the smallest men on the court, but he plays like a big man. And it's like he encompasses 3 different positions because he's a rebounder, for one. He's a facilitator, for 2. And he's a scorer. He can drive. He can drive to the basket like no other. And being that small, he is always in the thick of it. He is always down there trying to get the ball.
He beat the record, and he still has 4 more good years. That's Chris's opinion there. 4 more good years left.
I agree, Chris.
It's hard yeah.
Yeah, he takes care of himself, too. That's the thing. He takes real good care of himself. Like, off-season workouts, he doesn't do anything that's going to extenuate his body. He is very particular about what he does. Like, he's got some longevity left in him. And it's going to be amazing to see, like, when he retires, where that record's going to sit. Because at first it was something that you didn't think anybody was going to get or tie. Like that was kind of like well, that happened kind of like the whole Will Chamberlain. You know, like what he scored 100 points in one game.
Right.
Who's the closest person coming to that? Kobe.
Kobe had 80.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you like nobody thought that would happen.
Right.
But
yeah,
the closest is 80.
Yeah, it's a monumental feat, and congratulations to him. Unfortunately, like Chris said, his legacy is going to be best all-around talent in the NBA that never won anything.
Yeah. Do you think he goes into the NBA Hall of Fame?
At this point, with that record, why not? I mean, that's triple doubles are not. They don't grow on trees, man. It's
No,
not
and they're harder to get than what you think.
Right.
I mean, TJ can attest to this more.
Yeah,
than
you
a
could
lot
score
of
all day long and not have the assists, or you could score all day long and not have the rebounds. You just, you know what I mean? It depends.
Yeah, and he's one of the I think if I'm not mistaken, he's like one of the he's in the top 10 of rebound leaders. Like he's in there, top 10, top 15, or something like that. And he plays the point guard position.
We're gonna segue to something a little silly, but I'm gonna mention it anyway because it bears mentioning. Because when I grew up and I watched SportsCenter, Kenny Mayne was a big part of that, and ESPN dumped Kenny Mayne, but they kept Chris Berman for NFL primetime. Why? Because he goes, he could go all the way. By the way, Chris Berman, if any of y'all or any of you youngsters didn't realize, he stole that shit from Howard Cosell. Just throwing that out there. But anyway, no disrespect to Chris Berman, but Jesus, he's like 100 years old, and Kenny Mayne was great.
Kenny Mayne was great. Remember though, who's the face of NBA primetime, NFL primetime, or Sunday Countdown?
Chris Berman.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Berman took less money. It was a salary cap thing. All right. Now ESPN, because they're owned by Disney, they have a budget now. So now it's like they can't just pay everybody whoever they want to pay. So that's why you're seeing less and less former stars on, and they keep, the more solid reporters on or whatever. But back in the day, it was Rich Eisen, it was Dan Patrick, it was Stuart Scott, it was Kenny Mayne was part of that. I mean, Scott Van Pelt. It was all part of that. And to dump him like that because basically they offered him to stay for less money.
Yeah.
And he said no. And they said, well, unfortunately, then we're going to have to part ways.
Kenny Mayne will have a job here within the next 5 minutes.
Fucking Disney. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. If you look at it like this, if you go even further with it, you know what else Disney owns now? The UFC.
By the way, Chris, they do, I know. When Chris, you mentioned is Westbrook going to be in the Hall of Fame? Charles Barkley's there, and he has no championship, so he's in the Hall of Fame. Big shout out, Alan says, to Manchester City winning the Premier League. A few more weeks, they will take the UEFA championship. Also, congratulations to Manchester City. A little soccer there, Shango. A little football there. A little European football there for you.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. Appreciate you.
Do you watch much? European soccer? Do you watch much FIFA or anything like that?
You know what? Not as much as I should. My oldest son, he loves soccer. And Manchester
Alan
United
tries to get me. Alan tries to get me into it so much, but he tries and he fails because I'll watch it for a little bit, and I can't get into it. I sat there last weekend, and him and his buddy were watching a match, and they were getting into it. They were yelling at the screen like I do when I watch an Eagles game, or maybe you do when you watch a Cowboys game. Like I
stopped yelling a long time ago.
Right? Will you stop yelling?
Yeah, I stopped yelling a long time ago.
I know, but I do it. I do it, and I piss off my wife when I do it because they're like, they can't hear you. Well, I mean, they were yelling at the screen, like, so I get it. The passion for the
The
sport.
passion.
If you have a passion for the, my grandmother yells at the screen when the Phillies are playing all the time. So, hi,
Hey, Jeff,
Jessica.
how you doing?
Yeah. So, honestly, yeah. So it is what it is, Al. Yes, congratulations to Manchester City winning
Yeah.
the Premier League. We did so. There we go. We mentioned we talked a little football, talked a little NBA. I feel weird about talking about baseball without Anthony here, so we're probably going to skip that one. But
He has
I
time.
did
He
make
has
a
time.
point, and I'm great. There, good. That's good to hear. I did make a point. You only make me mad when you threaten harm to my TV. Thank you. Yeah. I love you too. All right. So he threw me off the rails there. I was gonna bring this up to Anthony because I know he's passionate about this such a thing, and that is that so far this season, there's been about roughly 30 games so far in the Major League Baseball season, and
Right.
there's been a lot of no-hitters, and also on the flip side, a lot more grand slams than we're used to seeing. Like, so,
Really?
right. So the point there is, let's take the grand slams out for a minute. The no-hitter thing, I think, has a lot to do with the fact that I think that the Major League Baseball, and this is my theory, mind you, this isn't fact. All right, this is my opinion and my theory. And Chris, maybe you could chime in on this, but my theory is that MLB told all the umpires in the entire league to widen that strike zone, to move the game along. Because the biggest rip on MLB is that the games are too long. Once it gets to 3 hours, 3.5 hours, I've even seen a Phillies game earlier this year that was 4 hours long. So to move the game along faster, I think they were all universally told, this is my opinion, to widen that strike zone. So you could hear it. But the problem is nobody told the commentators that, because the commentators are like making remarks, especially the radio guys. Like they're like, oh wait, no, that was way inside, or no, that was way outside. And
Yeah.
they're being called strikes anyway, and it favors the pitcher. And so maybe the pitchers are getting a little bit more calls than they should be. Therefore, we already have half a dozen or so no hitters in 30 games.
Yeah, they get a lot more leeway.
Alan doesn't believe me.
Oh,
Wrong.
I mean, it's just a thought, right? It's just a thought.
Chris says yes.
I do agree.
Yes. See? Yes, to move the game faster. Pitch time is less now between pitches. Yeah. And it favors the pitchers. The league, I did do this research. League average, and when I say league, I don't mean American League, I don't mean National League. I mean the entire MLB. You take every single batter in the Major League Baseball, and you come up with the league average right now, it's 234. They're all batting 234. And
Wow.
that is the lowest. If the season ended today, that'd be the lowest in Major League Baseball history. So the averages so far this year, it might get better. There might be some more hitting going on. But right now, the league average is 234.
That is insane.
I remember once upon a time when the league average normally in the 300s. There's a lot more runs being scored, that kind of thing. But you're seeing a lot of 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2 games. And the less scoring, game moves faster. And I think that the umpires have something to do with that.
Yeah.
Like they were told, widen them strike zones. It's not fair to the hitters, though. If I'm a hitter, especially a DH, just imagine if you're a DH in the American League, and your strike zone is,
You don't have to be leaning in the middle, leaning across the plate
that's
just to
what I
get a
said.
hit.
This would be a great subject for Anthony because he'd tear at a new asshole. I know it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe we'll explore this maybe next week.
Okay.
But anyway, I did see something about hockey which I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So even if you don't know anything about hockey, you know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Oh, of course. Everybody knows
And
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky was offered $2 million a year to be the solo analyst for the NHL on ESPN.
Right.
He said, no, I want 5. ESPN said, up yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the great one. To the great one. Go the master of an evil corporation. Right. They said no. So that means Gretzky, what Gretzky wants is $5 million. He said he countered offered. He said $5 million. They said no. So now Turner Sports is talking about bringing him in as their sole NHL analyst on TBS and TNT for the Stanley Cup. They want to.
Right.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are about to start. The last game of the season was yesterday or today. And so now the Stanley Cup playoffs are about to get going next week, and Turner wants to bring in Wayne Gretzky to be an analyst, and to the tune of he wants $5 million a season. Do you think that's too much?
No.
I'll give you a comparison there. Tony Romo gets like what, $10 million a year for NFL? Okay,
That's because he's like, predicting plays and it's semi funny.
I know, but he's Tony Romo. Okay, Tony Romo. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he was really, really good in the beginning, and he's kind of not. Like last season, he didn't seem to be as good, and he was asking Jim Nantz like questions, like which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to analyze. Like he was asking him during the broadcast. I caught him asking Jim Nantz what down it is sometimes.
I think what happened, if you noticed, like the first season he was with them, he talked, and Jim Nantz was just kind of like, I wish this motherfucker would shut up so I could say something.
Right.
So they're trying to like, hey Jim, what do you think about that? And Jim's probably like, you motherfucker. Well, Tony, I think
Gretzky is the great one, but is he worth $5 million a season?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, it's Wayne Gretzky, man.
I mean, I'm not going to tune into the NHL because Wayne Gretzky's commentating, though.
I mean, I get that, but it's still Wayne Gretzky. I mean, like how many fans it would bring? Like how many of his fans? Like, oh my God, it's Wayne Gretzky.
If you pay me, I'm the man.
Yeah.
ESPN pockets are low. Exactly, Kenneth, and that's what I'm saying. And I don't understand why, because they're owned by Disney, who has oodles upon oodles of money.
We all spent so much money on the Mandalorian.
They bought the Star Wars franchise. They bought ESPN, ABC. They bought Fox now.
Oh God, yes.
So now they own. They own 2 of the major networks out there, ABC and Fox. They own just about all sports coverage out there. Why can't they dig into their pockets for these guys who deserve to get paid?
Because they spent way too much money.
Like Kenny Mayne, like Wayne Gretzky. I'm just saying.
I mean, I agree with you. This money ain't loan money no more, apparently.
It's unbelievable. You got a thing for Mickey Mouse, don't you?
I mean, Mickey Mouse is. I'm starting to believe Mickey Mouse is the devil.
Chris says he is pleased to play the game. Might call things he sees before they happen, like Romo does.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. He could probably get into the mind of the players, get into the mind of the coaches. He was both. He was a player. He was a coach. He could probably tell you stuff about the game that if you're not a big fan of the game, he could probably explain things to you as they're happening better than probably most people. My point is he worth $5 million a season? Shango says yes. I don't know.
If I had that kind of money and he was like I had the opportunity for him to be
he is the best
an analyst
to play the game. That's what he meant to say. He's the best to play the game. He was. Yes, he was the great one. There's no doubt there. I mean, you don't think that Tom Brady's going to end up analyzing football somewhere when he's done?
Tom Brady going to be analyzing doing commercials all at the same time. He's not going to get me. He's going to be sitting there smiling the entire time and be like, that was a fantastic play.
Crazy Shango on Mickey.
That's just
Kenneth, you got to realize he just likes to amuse himself. He's over there. He's over there, Mickey Mouse and all that. I let it go in one ear and out the other, but
Oh yeah, then why you laughing?
Tom Brady will own because it's funny. Tom Brady will own his own team. That's a great question. Let's bring that up. Because without Anthony here to stop me, I can talk about Tom Brady.
Yes.
So when Tom Brady retired, when Chris said Tom Brady will own his own team, okay? Let's just play that for example. Let's just play that for a minute. Tom Brady retires after this season. What team does he buy? Let's just say Chris is right.
The Detroit Lions, right?
Buy? Huh?
He could buy the Lions. He went to college in Michigan.
He went to college in Michigan. If he like resurrected Detroit because they're one of the worst franchises in the league. They've never won a Super Bowl. So if he bought the team, made himself the GM, picked the players, and just imagine that. Just imagine if he took Detroit and bought the Lions, and then 2-3 years later they're Super Bowl champs because he bought the Lions and also made himself general manager. So him and his wife put money together, they can do it. Yeah, I'm not doubting he can't do it. My question is, when he retires, if he buys a team, which NFL team would he buy? I like Shango's idea.
I say Detroit because he played Michigan. He played college ball in Michigan, and then he could definitely be like, "Fuck you, Belichick."
He's already fucking.
You know what'd be funny? You know what'd be funny? Let's just say he buys them, and then gets Belichick to be the coach, and now he's Belichick's boss.
You know what I want, and it's not going to happen because he's going to retire before it happens. But I want Tom Brady and the Buccaneers versus Belichick and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Belichick's kind of rebuilding right now. And it's going to take them maybe like 2 or 3 years to get back to that level, I think. Meanwhile, the Jets are getting better. The Bills are getting better. The Dolphins are getting better. So the Patriots are kind of going to be floating in the breeze for a couple of seasons. And I think that maybe if not next year, maybe 2 years from now, maybe they'll start making waves again. And by then, I think Brady will retire. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to see it. Yeah. But I would love to see Brady versus Belichick in the Super Bowl. It's not. He's going to retire before Belichick gets back there. It
could happen this year. It could. In all honesty, it could. Who was expecting Tampa Bay to go to the Super Bowl except for Tampa Bay fans?
Yeah, but that's not the point. Nobody expected them to be in the Super Bowl. But I thought once he went there, they had a pretty damn good team without him.
Yeah, they were already set. He had weapons around him.
I mean, I was one of the first people to jump on that bandwagon and say, I think they're going, midway through the season, I was telling you guys on this damn show, was saying Tampa Bay's probably going to win the Super Bowl. And Anthony's shooting me down, blah, 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 Aaron Rodgers and this and that, yada, yada, Drew Brees, the Swan Song, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Guess what? He won the Super Bowl without Tom Brady, and you could say super team all you want, where he brought in AB, where he brought in Gronk, where he did this, he did that. Who cares? Guess what? Super Bowl champ, and Belichick didn't even make the playoffs. Fast
Nope.
forward to
Brady
this
was
year,
taken to the
I
playoffs.
really don't. I think you're wrong. I think the Patriots are still a couple years away from getting back there because
Right.
Buffalo is great. Buffalo's right there. They're on the cusp. Miami's made some moves. They're getting better. They had a great draft. The
Yes, they
Jets,
did.
the Jets also had a really good draft. Got rid of Sam Darnold. They're starting over, but they're not going to be. They're not going to be a 2-win team, a 3-win team. They're going to win some more games this year. So
We'll see because they really didn't address the O-line that much.
well, they got they got more work to do than Miami or Buffalo. But I'm saying that if let's say the Jets finish last. I think the Patriots are only as good as third in that division.
Yeah, but you got to look at the formula too here with the way the Jets are going because they're doing the same
The
thing.
head coach of the Patriots when Bill is done.
Yeah, Bill, I
First,
think so too.
First he says he's going to own a team. Now he's saying he's going to be a head coach.
No, I don't think he got the patience for that.
I don't think
Give
so
me
either.
damn ball, I'll do it myself.
I think he'd rather sit up in the booth with Giselle and watch his team. And I'm with you on the fact that they would take the Lions because those are one of those teams that have never won a Super Bowl.
And they're cheaper.
And I mean, you know how his ego is. How great would it be if he won 7, maybe 8 championships himself, leaves the sport, takes one of the worst NFL franchises from his, like you said, Michigan boy, takes Detroit and makes them win a Super Bowl. I mean, what else could he possibly do?
I mean, I started thinking of other teams that might work, but like Cincinnati, but he's got more roots in Michigan than he does anything else.
Worst part is when you said that, like that's where my head was at, but I was like,
yeah,
you got because everybody wants to tie him to the Patriots or maybe the Buccaneers now, but he's got loyalty to one person, Tom Brady.
Yeah,
That's just
he want to give back. He want to give back to the state that made him, so to speak.
We shall see. We shall see. What else? What else do we got there? I sent you guys a list of topics. Did we cover them all?
I think we did.
Tim Tebow, the price of Wayne Gretzky, Russell Westbrook, too many no-hitters in baseball. Like I said, we're going to address the baseball thing next week. Yeah. I want everybody within the sound of my voice to realize that there is no around the turnbuckle this weekend. I am going away with my wife over the weekend. It is our 6th anniversary. So happy early anniversary to my wife.
Yes. You have to do that plug. If not, you might get hurt.
Well, I got yelled at.
If you need help.
I got yelled at because in case you didn't see it, we had a mother. I know Chris saw it, but in case you didn't see it, we had a Mother's Day special, me and TJ, where we interviewed my mother. And my brother Matt hopped on too. And during that Mother's Day special, I wished everybody under the sun a happy Mother's Day except my wife.
Your wife.
And I have not heard the end of that since. So what I'm telling you is, happy Mother's Day, my wife. You are a wonderful mother, and I love you.
Yeah. I mean, even though it's late, but, better late than never, right?
Chris says, how about those Cardinals so far? Yeah, they're a bit of a surprise. Milwaukee's kind of fallen off the wayside. Because they got swept in a 4-game series with the Phillies. The Brewers have kind of fallen down from the Central there. So, yeah, the Cardinals.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure he's talking about the St. Louis Cardinals. What?
Yeah. Aren't they in the top 3 with power rankings when it comes to baseball, the Cardinals?
I'm bringing up the MLB power rankings. Like I said, that's why we have Anthony here, because Anthony's our baseball guy.
Yeah.
But I love talking baseball because I know a thing or two about it. I did play it, but without the standings or the power rankings right in front of me here,
You blank out.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Bad move, big bro. Wife comes first. Trust me, I've been here. Today is Tuesday. I heard it Sunday night. I heard it Monday night, and I heard it this morning.
If that had happened to me when I was married, I'd be sitting here doing this broadcast like this, man. So you guys, this is just awesome. What happened to your eye? I fell. Right, that's what you want me to tell you. Okay, I fell.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, if we go power rankings, all right, we'll start at number 15. So the MLB power rankings, the current MLB power rankings have the Philadelphia Phillies with a record of 18-17 at number 15. Previously, they were ranked
17.
18-17.
What happened?
They lost 2 out of 3 against Atlanta, and don't get me started because they should have won. They should have won. They should have swept them. They beat them on Friday.
Guys were, like, undefeated at one point, weren't you?
Hi, Rachel.
It was early. Hey, Rachel.
No, we weren't undefeated. They were 5-1. They started the season 5-1.
I mean, close enough. Close enough.
But listen, they had won. They had won 6 in a row, and including a 4-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers, and they won Game 1 against Atlanta in Atlanta on Friday night. So then Saturday night. They had the game in the bag. It was 3-1 in the 9th inning.
Right.
And Hector freaking Neris serves up a meatball to Pablo Sandoval, freaking Kung Fu Panda, and he hits a 2-run home run. It's 3-3. And we go to extra innings. Then they're leading again. They blow that lead. And they're leading a third time. And they blow that lead. And they end up losing the game in 12 innings. It was annoying. Okay, so we let that one go. I figure they'll win on Sunday, right? Because their best pitcher's pitching. Arnola. Wrong. He goes up 4 runs in the first inning.
What?
What that's called in the world of baseball, Mr. Shango, is carryover. They were still reeling from that disappointing overtime loss.
Right.
And it carried over into the next game. So now tonight, they were off Monday. So now tonight they got the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope you are well as well. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I hope you're doing well.
Number 14 is those Atlanta Braves.
Right.
Number 13 is Tampa Bay Rays. Number 12 is the first place in the National League East, New York Mets.
Ooh.
Number 11 is Cleveland Indians. Number 10 is the LA Dodgers.
Right.
Number 9 is the Houston Cheaters. Number 8 is the New York Yankees. Number 7 is the aforementioned Milwaukee Brewers. Number 6 is the San Diego Padres. And then now you got the top 5.
Right.
5 is the Chicago White Sox. 4 is the Boston Red Sox. 3 is the San Francisco Giants. 2 are the aforementioned St. Louis Cardinals. So
I see.
They are number 1 in the Central, and they are 21-14 as we speak. They are 13-4 in their last 17 games. 13 wins out of the last 17. That's why they are where they are.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who's number 1?
And the number 1 team in baseball at the moment, after the first 35 games or so, is the Oakland Athletics.
Where are they right? Where did it set that record-wise?
They are 21-15, top of the AL West.
But what they got? What 30 more games to play?
Did you say 30?
Yeah.
There's a 162 game season.
Oh my God, they got 130 more games to play.
I mean, the baseball season goes to September, my friend. Shout out to the
Yeah.
ATL, yes, the Atlanta Braves.
Wow. I wonder what
And
the
it's the
Falcons gonna do this
and
year.
it's the Atlanta Braves are my son's favorite team too. He don't want to admit it. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. They're you
Bless his
remember
heart.
that Shango? You remember that guy heel turn Harry?
Yes.
Shout out to him because that's his team, the Atlanta
Yeah.
Braves.
Yeah.
Right. How about which drafted quarterback has the best career? Didn't we cover that last week?
No, we didn't.
Okay, let's cover it then.
No, we didn't.
Oh, both of you.
Well,
Did I show that one already?
yes, you did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, let's talk about that. I love how Chris is offering up subjects tonight. That's great.
I like it. I like it, Chris.
Well, yeah, because without cousin Phil here, without Anthony, we've covered our subjects now. We're kind of done. So, and I didn't have an entertainment one scheduled this time. I wanted to keep it all sports for once, and with just me and you here, you know, I like how funny it gets when all of us are here when we talk about something else. But anyway,
Right.
so are we talking? So we're talking between. Let's just take four of them. So who
Okay.
has the better? Who has the best career? Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Zach Wilson?
I say, who fell into the better situation would be the first thing to ask yourself. Who's getting thrown to the fire early? Trevor Lawrence is going out, and he's probably going to get
Well,
thrown to
Trey
the fire
Lance is
early.
going to sit, right?
Trey
He's
Lance going to
not
sit behind
right.
Garoppolo.
He's a 49er, and he's going to sit, and Jimmy G's going to quarterback this year, and he's going to learn the system. So they're pulling a Donovan McNabb with Doug Peterson thing back in the day.
Or Aaron Rodgers, or unless he gets hurt and comes in. Like,
Right.
you know, and that's a whole nother segue. But I was going to say, like, the person I feel bad for the most in NFL history as a quarterback is damn Drew Bledsoe.
Right. Because Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, Brady comes in, rest is history.
And Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, Romo comes in, rest is history.
Right. So anyway.
Trey Lance, man. Trey Lance fell into the best situation. He's got weapons. He's got a young team around him. That offense is with that quarterback and that offense, you give me a mobile quarterback who does not and see that's the thing with Trey Lance. He did not have a lot of accuracy issues. He could take off and he could run the ball. So read option. He's got some wheels. He doesn't have to rely on, I got to check down. If he's got space, he can take off.
He's got George Kittle. You know what I mean? He's got, like you said, weapons. To me, the 49ers are a plug-and-play team right now. The 49ers are a quarterback away. Jimmy G's not going to do it. Trey Lance isn't ready yet. If I were the 49ers, I would try to make a trade and get Aaron Rodgers in there for the next 2 years. Who better to learn from?
That Trey Lance,
because then Trey Lance could be the heir apparent. It's already there. And the 49ers right now with Aaron Rodgers are the favorites in the NFC.
They would be dangerous, yes.
They
would still fall along the same problem that a lot of people have.
But last than Dakota State. No, why do you got to bring up Carson Wentz? All right. Didn't you know that Carson Wentz is going to win a Super Bowl for the Indianapolis Colts? Didn't you know?
He's going to dislocate his big toe in the huddle.
Chris wants us to say that the correct answer is Zach Wilson.
No, I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly because what does he have on that team?
I don't know. That's a great question for Chris, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'll pose it for Chris. Outside of Cam Newton on offense, What do they have? Count O'Neal.
The Jets don't have Cam Newton.
Oh, you said Donovan Wilson.
No, I
You thought
said
you said Mac
Zach
Jones.
Wilson. I said,
Oh, Zach Wilson.
yeah, the Jets drafted Zach Wilson. He wants us to say Zach Wilson.
He's in the worst
Brett
position.
Favre is one of my favorites. Is that what he said?
Favre?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, remember when John Madden used to say Brett Favre all of like every 5 minutes?
Yeah, you gotta understand Brett Favre's got to be the best torso in football. Because you see, if you got the football, and then you can throw the football, and then you got a guy who goes down the field and he catches the football, and boom, you got a touchdown. Then you got the guy doing the touchdown dance, and just the bed all happy and stuff. And then Ace is the place for sports and stuff.
Wow. Ace is the place. He even put Ace is the place in there.
And then if you got a guy who's on the sideline with
I wish I could do Pat Summerall so that I could just talk with you. Like, you be John Madden, I be Pat Summerall, and we just have a conversation.
John, I don't believe that
I can't
these
do
people
it.
are here for anything, and he's going in for the touchdown. Yeah, you see, Pat, if a guy's sitting on the sideline because he's on the bench, and his foot's bothering him, you get him a little tough at the knock, and boom, he's back in the game.
All right, so here we go. Jets drafted well. That's correct. I agree with that. They got a pancake left side O-line, and Carter at running back is a game changer. With free agency, top 5D, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. But you got to understand something. Zach Wilson's getting thrown to the wolves. Okay? This is the NFL. This is the NFL. Sometimes it doesn't always work out for those college quarterbacks coming in right away. Okay? Second, Buffalo and Miami are better than the Jets. Even with everything you just said. Even with Carter, even with the top 5 defense, Miami and Buffalo are better than them right now at this moment. Barring injuries.
Yeah. You think that front seven of Buffalo,
right?
For a young
you got to get out of your own division before anything. My expectations is that the Eagles are going to finish last. All right, I think the division's going to. No, I think the division's going to be between Washington and Dallas, depending on who stays healthier, and then the Giants are going to be right there too, but just fall barely short because I don't have any faith in Danny Dimes.
My money is on the Giants and Washington.
Why are you selling the Cowboys so short? Just because they haven't done anything for how many years?
This is the first year. You got to think. McCarthy, first year, right? They struggled.
No, second year. His first year he had right.
First year he struggled, right? And they had a horrible defense because there was too much.
The whole season.
Yeah, but outside of that, Dak was struggling in the games to begin with.
Yeah, but if they had Dak the whole season, they would have had at least 2 or 3 more wins.
We would have went to the playoffs and lost probably in the first game.
No.
But then to piggyback on that, you got Dan Quinn coming in, putting in a completely different defensive system in, just like the last guy did. Completely different defensive system. We have 2 linebackers.
Whoa, I'll stop you right there. Dan Quinn is better than the guy you had.
Oh, definitely. By far.
Dan Quinn
by far
took the freaking
Falcons
to the Super Bowl with his defense.
Yeah. So, and then what happened in the next day after that?
Because he's not a head coach. Some guys are just not a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. That is his strength.
I agree.
And Dallas understands that, and that's why their defense is going to be better than they've been.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of talent there, but they did get a lot of guys in the draft. Micah Parsons. Just saying.
Harrisburg native.
Kid has pure talent. Hope New York not too big for him, at least most. I understand that, man. He could be the most talented fucking guy of those 4 we just mentioned. He could be even more. Zach could be even more talented than Trevor Lawrence. It doesn't mean the Jets are going to get out of their own division. It doesn't mean that. I'm sure he's going to be better than Sam Darnold. I'm sure. But okay, so even if he's better than Sam Darnold, that gives you what, 3 or 4 more wins?
Yeah.
So that puts you up to 6-11. You're still finishing last.
They addressed the offensive side of the ball, but what did they do with their defense?
He did free agency. They did a free agency. He mentioned that. They got free agency. They're going to have a top 5 B in the AFC.
Hopefully.
That's probably true.
Hopefully.
But what I'm saying is that in your own division, you got Miami had a hell of a draft, and Buffalo's already there. Buffalo was in the AFC Championship game last year.
When was the last time you saw a team in recent years spend a shit ton of money on defense and still come out on top?
Right. But defense does win championships. Look at the Baltimore Ravens when they did it with Trent Dilfer.
That defense was homegrown. That was a homegrown defense.
Same thing with Peyton Manning's Super Bowl with Denver.
Homegrown defense.
Right. So I understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're going to try to ground and pound. They're going to put the ball in Carter's hands. They're going to play defense. They're going to play ball control, and they're just going to ask Zach Wilson for his rookie year not to lose the game. Not to lose the game. They're not going to say, go out and win this game for us, kid. They're going to just tell him, hey, all right, this is your rookie season. We just want you to get into this offense, see what we got here, and do your best to not lose the game.
Yeah. And New York fans are crazy.
Hold on to the football. See what happens when he gets hit in the NFL. These are questions. These are intangibles that when these guys get drafted, you don't know until it happens. Until he gets popped in the NFL by a big, fast defensive lineman that's been a pro for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is like this. The New York fan base is very vicious. Not as vicious as the Philly fan base, but they're very vicious because look at, and he just brought it up, Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez had 2 really good years. He had 2.
They were in the playoffs.
He had some good years.
And that's my point. They have a formula to get back there. They're trying to get back to that formula, but now they got Zach Wilson. At the same time, they got to develop him. So it's nobody wants to say it's a rebuilding year or a retooling year or whatever you want to say. But for the Jets,
fans know that.
just draft. They had a great draft. They have a good defense. You want to have hope for your team, but they know. Jets fans know that Buffalo and Miami are about a step. Buffalo's 2 steps ahead of them. Miami's like about 1 step ahead of them now. And like I said, and you never know what the Patriots are all kind of goofy. They're moving around. They draft Mac Jones, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens with that. Cam Newton, how healthy is he going to be? They're a big question mark in my book.
Cam Newton's a question mark, period, because one, he is past his prime when it comes to football.
And he knows that, and they know that too. That's why they drafted Mac Jones. I thought they were going to move up and get Justin Fields myself. But apparently Belichick likes Mac Jones.
You know why? Because he's an Alabama kid.
Okay.
Him and Nick Saban are friends.
Sanchez struggled coming out of the gate. He did.
Yes.
Sanchez. And I think Wilson will do that too. I think Wilson will struggle out of the gate too.
Year 2, Zach Wilson.
But Jets fans should not get discouraged if that happens because he's going to have growing pains. Trevor Lawrence is jumping into a fire. He's jumping into a dumpster fire and trying to put it out with his feet. So he's going to have growing pains too.
Look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield struggled coming out of the gate, but Baker Mayfield starts showing.
Look at him now, and look at Cleveland's now. Cleveland's now favored to win that division because Ben's a freaking question mark. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati is still Cincinnati, and the Ravens are, they're good, but they're not they're not
They're
going to blow they're not going to blow the roof
just
off of
up and
people.
down.
That's because people have figured out Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you spy him. You get a fast
That's it.
cornerback or a fast linebacker to spy him. You
That's
don't do
it.
nothing but watch him. That's it. That is your job. And when teams started doing that, that whole takeoff and run scheme only worked when they emptied the clip on him when it came to a blitz. Then he was able to break free. But most games toward the end of the stretch, they were watching him. They like your job. You give me a linebacker who runs a 4.4, 4.5. Your job is to watch him. That's all you got to do. You sit out there and you watch him.
Will the Jets win the Super Bowl before the Cowboys or the Eagles?
No. I'm sorry to say. No.
Which one of those three wins one first?
If you're going to buy a more complete team, I'd say Dallas would win one first.
Okay.
After they trade some baggage.
Like Ezekiel Elliott?
Yep, he'll be gone next year. It's a gut hit. Ezekiel Elliott and Jalen Smith will not be a Cowboy next year if they play the same way they did, and neither will Leighton Vander Esch, because look what they did to draft. They drafted 2 stud linebackers.
My answer we're going to end this now because it's the 1 hour's up. But my answer to your question, Chris, is that the Eagles are about 2. Thanks for the hour. Love you guys. We love you too. Thanks for chiming in and all the subjects you brought up. I appreciate it big time, especially when we don't have Anthony or Phil. But my answer let me answer his question.
Boom.
Will the Jets win the Super Bowl before either the Eagles or the Cowboys do? No. Because I have faith in both the Cowboys and Eagles organizations over the Jets organization. I'm not saying that the Eagles and the Cowboys are better than the Jets, which at this very moment is true on the Cowboys end, but not on the Eagles end. But I'm saying that the Jets organization needs to step it up, or things need to change, or they need something going on. Like that, the cage needs to be rattled before they end up being where they are. Now, Zach Wilson, year 2, maybe, I bet you year 1, he's going to struggle. They're going to be mediocre, right? 6 wins, 7 wins, okay? That's better than this year, right? Then year 2, they get over that hump. Maybe they win 9 games. Maybe they go 9-8. Year 3, now we might be talking.
Yeah, now it's time to watch out. Because that'll give them time to see what else we're missing.
The big question mark for the Eagles,
yeah.
the big question mark for the Eagles is how good or how bad both Nick Sirianni is and Jalen Hurts. Because they have 3 first-round draft picks next year. So, if they're mediocre or they suck, but Jalen Hurts looks like he can be the man, they can build around him next year. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years from now, maybe we're talking about an Eagles versus Jets Super Bowl. Just throwing it out there.
All Super Bowl.
Jessica, thanks for chiming in. Kenneth Ferguson, thanks for chiming in. Big Chris Fant, we're going to see you next Tuesday on Home Team Sports. There is no Around the Turnbuckle this week. Spin with Spinners on his normal Wednesday. Catch him live Wednesday night, 8 o'clock as usual. Hopefully, Shango, you and I are joined by some of our fucking panelists next Tuesday, right?
I mean, if they decide to show up.
It'd be nice, right? But yeah,
it'd be nice.
But I want to, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for not making me have to sit here and talk by myself.
I got you.
Spencer Rattler, Heisman to the Eagles. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they also picked up a running back this week, but I can keep talking all night. We got to get going.
Boom.
He is Mr. Shango, aka John Madden. I am the Big Alboski. and we'll all see you next Tuesday for Home Team Sports.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French.